Hello and welcome to the Fortnightly Frontier podcast. It is for YouTube, isn't it? You know, like that's the new meta on YouTube. Like, hello, welcome to YouTube. Hey guys, welcome to the Fortnightly Frontier podcast. This is a podcast where Darjanator and I talk about Star Citizen stuff. This week has had a lot of interesting news with the ATV and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna be talking about trails. What kind of trails are we gonna be talking about, Darj?
I'm trying to think of a joke. It's just not happening because you made me think.
I am the joke.
Just how? Yes, you are the joke. You just made me think. Why didn't I get any alcohol? Because I'm gonna need it. With your stupid intros, man.
You're gonna substitute alcohol
but I
for
shouldn't
headaches
complain.
instead.
Yes, I shouldn't complain. My intros are just as stupid.
Well,
Yes.
anyway.
So we're talking about trials and tribulations, are we?
Was that the joke?
It took me a while, yes, and it's see how bad it is. I am completely out of my element today. I just don't know what's going on. Also, can I just say before we begin, that I am really, really, really disappointed in you, Myre.
Why?
Because you have so much practice, and we've been playing PUBG so much, and you still haven't been able to carry me to chicken dinner.
Okay, so this is a bit off topic, but yes, that's because you're the
Yes,
heavy.
it is.
You're just too heavy. Too heavy.
That's
There's
true.
something is too heavy. You are the camel that broke the Myre's back. Wait, what? Wait, what? That's not how it goes.
Is it a single hump or double hump? Am I a dromedary?
Too many humps is all I'm saying. All right, so
My humps, my lovely humps.
but yeah, we tried playing some PUBG earlier, and it's not so much a chicken dinner as it is just a nightmare, like a McNugget every now and then.
Yeah. Reconstituted chicken in our case.
So, yes, indeed. Partially hydrogenated chicken. Anyway, Star Citizen podcast, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
We're talking about chemtrails, Monsanto, GMOs, and ancient aliens.
Oh,
Apparently.
those kind of trails, yes.
Yes, indeed. In the last ATV, something that kind of like set the spectrum on fire was the implementation, or at least the notification that we are getting, well, space trails.
Engine trails, yes.
Yeah, engine trails, like trails coming off your ships, basically. And there are two houses. One is like, oh, awesome! This is gonna help us a lot with combat, being able to see stuff, make things a bit more visceral. And then there's another house which is like, trails in space. Why? This is gonna ruin the game, my immersion, that kind of thing. And
Yeah, because those people know exactly what type of engine technology is being used and just how those engines behave in space, because they are, of course, from 2947, just travelers in time.
Yeah. I mean, I for one think that the implementation is beautiful. I mean, this is only an alpha.
The implementation is very beautiful. Yes, they
Yeah.
also showed the first iteration of that, and that looked like dog's dinner.
Yeah. So we
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we saw that this has always been in Chris Roberts' plan to have trails coming off the ships for one reason or another. I think that it's an awesome visual cue to see where a ship has gone. I think that it just kind of adds more to the bleakness of space anyway, but also planetside as well. It just makes things look more visceral. You can see the ships flying, but you also know that they're packing a huge punch because they're like just letting fumes go and all that kind of stuff as well. I mean, like,
planet side, I do understand because, well, planet side, the trails that we'll be seeing more of is the contrails, and that is basically just the aerodynamic disturbance when a ship is passing through the atmosphere. So those are completely understandable, but people keep complaining about the trails the engines leave as they are passing through the vacuum of space.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I'm no aeronautical engineer or astrophysicist. So, but at the same time, I've heard people talk, and I don't know, people sound pretty convincing about,
From both camps.
From both camps, exactly. So some are like, oh yeah, well, they could exist in space, like they just dissipate as they would because, like when you burn something, it has to go somewhere, right?
Because NASA is experimenting with ion engines, and those engines, as a side effect of thrust, produced charged xenon gas.
Right.
And, that is what's in xenon light bulbs.
Right.
So that's why there's a trail.
Yeah, and as you can see in the video here as well, I mean, like, there are multiple different kinds of trails as well. Certain ships are giving off a kind of blue light, and I'm guessing that must be the Xenon trail or whatever. I mean, and then others
and
are
the
giving
Vandal have red trails.
Yeah, and other ships are giving off orange ones as well, and I believe maybe it's because they're afterburning or what. I have no idea. But,
We've seen a single ship produce two different types of trails. Like an M50 does a blue and an orange one. So
right. Yeah. So I mean, like, in terms of gameplay, though, I mean, like everything else aside, I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be good. I think that because right now in Star Citizen, like when you are in the middle of combat and you're fighting somebody, as people may have seen, like on the stream earlier today, for instance, like. When a ship, when you're fighting somebody and they go behind you and they're really close, it's very hard to find to keep a bead on them. I mean, like without knowing exactly where they went and which direction. The little pip right now, at least in this patch, there's a little like a rect triangle that just gets lodged in the corner of the screen, and it's almost impossible to find somebody. And the moment you pitch in the opposite direction, it becomes even harder to find because it's just not where you intend it to be. But at the same time, if you were to fire a missile, and the missiles already have trails in the game, they always have been since the first implementation. If you were to fire a missile at somebody as they were flying past you, the missile kind of fills that niche, or fills that void that we don't have at the moment. That we do have at the moment with the lack of the trails. And you can see exactly where the person is going because you see that trail going there. So in terms of gameplay, I think that's going to help people phenomenally in terms of just not getting lost and getting stuck with a proverbial stick up your butt because you have no idea what's happened in the middle of the fight. But
I think that could also be helped with a better UI, at least when it comes to showing, identifying a ship through those little markers around them, and in which way they're pointing and which way they're going. Well, or could that be too much information? That you could actually, I think the trails actually do solve that problem.
I mean, where do you stand? I mean, so
I like them.
You like them. Yeah,
I like them. Yeah, and I do believe that they have a physical leg to stand on because stuff like that does exist already. Not to mention in 900 years in the future. So I don't see why not.
I mean, for those who are kind of against them or kind of want to be able to remove them, I mean, without touching on that too much just yet,
because it's all speculation at this point.
Yeah,
yes.
I kind of feel like because they've already gone ahead and talked to us about stealth with the Aegis Eclipse and a little bit with the Nox as well, and the fact that we have all these components that you can add and you can equip to a ship. You have the 5 main kinds of thing. You have military, civilian, industrial, racing, and Bob. But I think it's,
military, industrial, performance, stealth, and how many did you say there are?
I think they're 5. So
they're
military,
5,
civilian, industrial, performance, and stealth. Yeah, 5. So yeah, we don't know exactly what kind of like output or emissions a stealth ship, for instance, is going to give in terms of these trails, because
Right, but you would imagine that it lowers them, because what use is stealth if if you just, no matter what you do, have like a kilometer trail behind you as as you're moving along.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of people who are kind of against it are like like, if you're in the middle of a fight and somebody doesn't really have to, or isn't paying too much attention to where you are specifically, like they might be able to find you a bit easier. And I think this is where that'll kind of tie in. And in terms of gameplay, this is actually necessary in order to kind of make more of a difference between stealth and all that kind of things as well. I mean, however...
But then the people who complain about it just from an aesthetic point of view, I don't think, there'll be anything for them to turn it off unless they go and hack the executables and the engines and remove them from the game. But then good luck connecting to servers.
I wonder what kind of range, though, you'll be able to see these lights from. Because we also have our scanners as well as a way of being able to detect ships.
Right, but I believe scanners should go much farther than visual farther, range.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Because like
so it's more of a not for just trying to find out exactly where they've gone in a split second instead of hide and seek stuff. It's not going to help you with that.
Yeah. I suppose it's because like the only thing we kind of have to compare to at the moment is what we have with Arena Commander and those small 10 kilometers or more like arenas. Like so you can already see.
I think it's 60, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. But you can already see your opponents and stuff like that, and you don't really know exactly how the scanners are going to be implemented and how it's going to implicate the scanners. Is that the word? Implicate the scan. Anyway, any implications it'll have on the scanners.
Ah, right, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. As for the people who are talking about wanting to remove them because it affects their immersion, though, I mean, like, what do you think about that? Do you think they should be allowed to remove the scan?
No.
Why not?
Oh, because if they're allowed to remove the what? The scanners?
If they were allowed to remove on their clients alone the trails being visible, because
what prevents them from asking CIG to allow them to remove another aspect of the game?
Right, but it's the same thing I feel with. I mean, in terms of this goes against my immersion and all that.
But I don't think that's bullshit. I mean, if Chris Roberts' vision of what the future is paramount. That's the first thing that need to be worried about. Their immersion, I don't think, is as important. So if Chris Roberts wants fucking engine trails, Chris Roberts gets fucking engine trails.
But fair enough. But at the same time, Chris has already backtracked. Well, he hasn't backtracked, but he's gone and said that, people are like, well, there shouldn't be sound in space. Well, you can turn off all those modulated space sounds, right? And just be deaf.
Yeah, but that is a user experience thing.
But don't you think that having trails in space when you don't think they should be, isn't that a user experience thing as well?
Well, no, the way sound is done is because, like, fundamentally there is no sound, but your ship scans the area around you and then simulates them in your helmet or whatever. Right. Which also begs the question, if a ship is so stealthy that you can't see it, will your ship make a sound because it doesn't know it's there? Anyway, the sounds are simulated by your ship. The engine trails are not. The engine trails are produced by other ships, and they're actually a physical property of the way thrusters work.
Right.
So that's why you should be able to remove them.
Fair enough. End of the day, final verdict, I guess, for both of us. Yeah. Engine trails, yes, because they're awesome. And they work.
And they work, yeah. And they look cool.
Yeah.
And they look properly done. I mean, if they had actually kept the first version that they showcased, which just looked like ass, I think a lot more people would have been vocal about it, and I think I would have been in their camp. Just maybe because because I would agree that they'd look like ass, but because they look so pretty, I think I was won over. Yes, properly volumetricized and physicalized particles, which the segment on ATV wasn't just about engine trails; it was about the new GPU particles the engine that they were able to design and put together, and atmospheric entry and engine trails and contrails is just a product of those particles. It's not just yeah.
Do you think that now that we'll be able to get more of the graphics or whatever being computed on not the CPU, that will have a bit of a performance boost or gain, or
a performance boost in single player? Sure. Where actual rendering is the bottleneck, sure. But where the server is the bottleneck, I think you'll still have to wait for at least a few more versions, unfortunately. Like 3.0 is going to bring serialized variables, and there's another one that I don't remember. These technical terms are just... I shouldn't have a tattoo of a solar system. I should have all the tattoo of just
a cheat sheet,
a list of lines and a cheat sheet of all these fucking bullshit terms that they're coming up with.
But yeah, the one down your arm.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone at CIG actually has subsumption to cheat. But yeah, it's there's the one where they break up all the information that they're sending into the smallest part possible and only send that. That's serialized variable. And then there's the other one that's also coming in 3.0, which lowers the frequency of updates for an object that's furthest away, like further away. It's not completely stopping updating for stuff that has absolutely no effect on you. That's still another type of logic that will have to take care of that. So we'll get like 2 out of 4 or 5 different types of network revamps or new tools before we'll get to see the benefit and ability to not be bottlenecked by server side.
Right.
Hopefully, yeah. This is all still, I mean, sure, I'm sure they have the capability of coding all this up and putting it in game. But in the end, will it actually work?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, like,
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. And if anybody is a network game dev, please contact CIG, because from about 400 people that are currently employed, they only have 6 network engineers, and they have a monumental task to accomplish.
I think with the netcode thing, at least what they described was it's like a kind of like too many chefs spoil the broth kind of thing.
I suppose. Like, 9 women can't birth a child in 1 month.
Yes, exactly. I like that one better. 9 women can't birth a child in 1 month.
Yeah.
Unless you try really, really hard.
Like, chop it up into nine pieces and shove it up 9 women. I don't think that'll work either. Oh, boy.
Something Voltron. Anyway.
Speaking of.
Oh, yeah. Your Star Trek Voltron shirt.
My Star Trek Voltron shirt, yes.
I've just got the RSI shirt. This is actually a really, really neat shirt. And I don't want to do a sales pitch for a CIG's clothing wear. But, geez, maybe I should review this shirt because it is actually really good. It's like a Lycra blend.
I only have the Squadron 42 shirt, the green one with the yellow logo. And that fades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the green material is turning brown from sun exposure.
It must be the dye they use. It must be like some weird kind of thing. But like, so what kind of shirt is it? And this is so off topic, but like,
I have no idea. I think
is it stretchy like
blend.
this?
No. Yeah, actually. Yeah, it is. I think it's the same manufacturer. Yeah, but I would imagine black not fading in the same way because it's not dyed.
Yeah, this has gone in the wash several times,
same way.
and like the silver.
It's not the wash; it's sun.
Right.
You know. Yeah, and you're tanned enough already. You don't go outside, and you live in England, so
I'm pre-tanned, baby. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Pre-tanned. Anyway, so
Back to topic.
What else this week? I mean, like, so our good friend Board Gamer, we went to Foundry 42. Was it Foundry 42? Yeah.
Foundry 42 in Manchester, yeah.
In Manchester, yeah. And
Wilmslow,
Manchester, yes. Just in the outskirts there. And he managed to come back with a whole like a bunch of news. All the stuff we kind of already knew, or like but what you've seen the video, right? Or you've at least read the transcript.
I've seen the video. I've read the transcript. I don't remember all of it because there was like a mountain of information.
Well, you're being tested here today, that's for sure.
I'm being tested. Yes. Yeah, but he said at the very end of the video, this will not be on the test. I mean, who am I supposed to believe now? You're bored.
I'm right here. I'm real.
with your super shiny coffee cup. Away with you.
But yeah, did anything like strike you as kind of interesting, or like you weren't really sure
just
about?
that Brian Chambers made a goof when he was answering quantum questions.
What do you mean?
He said that mining will be in 3.0, but it won't be, unfortunately. It'll only be in 3.1.
I think it must have been one of those kind of like stretch goal goodies, you know? It must have been. It must have been like
well, the Polaris, the Prospector will be in 3.0, which is like the first or only ship that's not only capable of mining but designed for mining.
That's going to be such a sad
we'll have
feeling.
that.
Such a sad feeling, like flying around in your in your Prospector. Like you press the button, bring up the mining thing, and you're like, but there's nothing to mine. I mean, like so we know that the Prospector.
I wonder if it would actually be if it would do physical damage. Like if you turn it on and walked under it, will it cut you apart? Or if you aimed it at a ship, will it do like the same sort of damage shader thing as particle weapons do? Right.
I mean, I wonder, to be honest. I mean, because like we know that it has two different modes. Is it two different modes of mining? It can do both asteroids as well as landing on planets, like in the concept art.
I have no idea, and until we get that, I don't think we'll know either.
In the concept art, like it was just like sitting on a planet, and it was just doing its thing,
and
like a
boring
mosquito.
Down.
Yeah. So do you reckon that
and then there's also concept art where it's floating next to an asteroid and pointing at it?
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be able to do both. I feel like with the in terms of just the asteroids, the procedural ones will just appear and disappear, that kind of thing. That it'd be much easier for them to say, okay, this asteroid will be damageable, blow up, but it'll respawn when you leave or whatever. But in terms of,
and I wonder how mining is going to work also on planets, like that mining laser. Is it going to just bore a hole into it that's going to persist until you leave? Just like footprints.
Maybe. Or because MMO, maybe it'll work with a node system. So like the nodes will like randomly spawn. Your scanners will say, like a Dargium rich like deposit over there. And then so you then land on the planet and then like
is Dargium rich in alcohol?
Almost 42%.
and fatty tissues.
I'm drinking here, dude.
Could be. Well, in the Homestead demo, we saw some crystals when the dude was looking at through the scope of the assault rifle, the sniper rifle. So it could be only for that. For instance, in I always forget the name. Was that roguelite space game that was released like a few months ago?
Everspace?
Yes, Everspace. Yes, if you want to mine that, there are nodes of crystal, and you have special mineable asteroids that get like voxel damaged. But other than that, your weapons don't create damage on the landscape geometry.
Right. I mean, like, I guess with those crystals as well, I mean, they could just go into the editor and make them as large or as small as they want to. But in the Homestead demo, they were tiny, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, more like less ship mining, more personal, like walking up to it with a pickaxe mining stuff.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be none of that. I mean, yeah, hopefully there'll be none of that. Maybe...
And it did look rather StarCraft-like, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of when you would need, and we've kind of gone off topic, but whatever. This is the Fortnightly Frontier where we sometimes stay on topic.
Only sometimes.
Only sometimes. Yeah, I kind of hope that... Because in MMOs, as a singular player or a singular entity, you go about and you can go mining nodes. But in this one, you have mining ships to fulfill that purpose. I don't think that it'd be necessary in any kind of stretch of the imagination to do that on foot. Then again, if you are, say, in like a science like suit or something, an exploration suit, and you're in a cave, for instance, and you are kind of like basically doing like a soil sample or something, or you're trying to kind of like prospect the area, then why not? You know, why not have like a small mining tool or something? But in terms of
there is a handheld welding tool, and then there's ships that fix that. So and drones. I mean, the granularity of such things, I don't think, should be limited to ship-based stuff. Because what if you're crashed on a barren planet? Okay, this is just like a really far off example. You crash on a planet. You didn't tell anybody where you're going. No, you're the first actual person who's been there, or you're on a planet that nobody ever visits.
Right.
And your engines and your communications is busted. And you need raw material to fix that. I mean, you have like this little helper dude, drone, that can fix that for you.
You're talking about Osiris right now, down to the drone.
I haven't played.
You've seen me play
played that.
You've seen me play Osiris. Down to the drone.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, the dude says, I need these raw materials. Go fucking get them for me. Why not?
Okay. All right, but okay, we need to play Osiris then. If you haven't seen, if you honestly haven't seen me play it, then...
I haven't seen any drones. I think I know which game you're talking about, but I don't know of any drones.
Yeah, you start off with a drone, and you can make it go mining and stuff as well. We need to play Osiris. We need to play Osiris.
Yeah,
together,
we do.
For sure.
We do.
Yeah. Tomorrow, but
cool. Yeah. You keep saying we have so many things to do tomorrow. Yes, I'm traveling. Yeah, that's why it was crucial that we record this podcast today.
Fair enough. I mean, you could always do it early. I don't know. When are you traveling? Anyway, that's the podcast. Podcast. All right. So, yeah, definitely we need to play Osiris then, because Osiris is everything survival that I think that we may get for Star Citizen. It's like Helion is everything in terms of like space survival and scavenging that I think we'll get in Star Citizen. Like Osiris is kind of like the planet side version of that.
I see. Okay. But speaking of survival, it was something I wanted to ask when we were talking about actually these things, like how. If we're talking about consumption of food and water, just how often do you think you would need to replenish these things? Because, you have some games where it seems like you're continually stuffing your face with food.
Right. Well, first of all, I think we are trailing off the subject. But
oh, snap.
But there was this one interview a while ago, so who knows if it's anything to go by anymore. But they mentioned that if you are stranded in a planet, you wouldn't have to worry about starving to death until like maybe a day or so.
Yeah, okay. But is that like real-time day or the planet's diurnal cycle?
Real-time day. Because everything in this game is meant to kind of be on a large scale. And I think also...
I meant like a in real life day, 24 hours, or the sped up.
Most things in Star Citizen are on our clock.
Our clock, okay. Because it'd be interesting to see, because space, they've confirmed, is going to be on a 1 to 10 scale. So planets are going to be 1/10 scale of what they are in real life, and time is also going to be scaled down.
Right.
We just don't know by how much. Right. So it'd be interesting if you could actually survive several days without food or water before you'd start, like, in-game days.
So we're getting confirmation right now, from the producers that they said time will not be 1-to-1. But I'm not sure if that means exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like if you spend 24 real life hours on a planet, how many times will you see the sun come up and go down again? Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point in time of development, we kind of have to wait and see, because there are certain aspects in the game where you do have to wait a week or whatever, or you do have 7 24-hour periods, like with rec renting, for instance. So I guess we'll have to see.
Right. Well, and if we come back to the original topic and merge it with the current topic, when you are stuck on a planet for 24 hours and you see a ship flying by through the atmosphere, you should be able to see a lot of contrails, even when they are so far away that you do not see the ship like bigger than a single pixel.
Do you reckon they'll last for a while as well? Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be epic. Yeah. So
actually,
what?
Hilarious. If you could play tic-tac-toe in the sky.
I was gonna say, how long do you think it'll take before some group of people draw a penis with contrails? 5 minutes, I think.
Or poison the atmosphere with chemtrails.
Make all the frogs gay.
Yeah. What? Is that what chemtrails are supposed to do? No.
Yeah. Is this like satire, like news anchor is like, Obama's poisoning the water, making all our frogs gay or something. So anyway.
Well, that's a first. That's a first one for me.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, so I've lost the plot. You're trying to segue into something.
Yeah, well, we were talking about just being stuck on a planet, because that's something I want to do. I want to be stuck on a planet. I want to be stuck on Yela and watch the sunset and those sexy new planetary rings, and that's all I want to do. And I'm just sitting here waiting for 3.0 to hit.
So stuck on a planet. You're actually making me think here about other things. So imagine if, somewhere down the line.
Imagine if you will,
Star Citizen has been released. And everything has gone down without a hitch according to plan. Players, they don't have complete agency over things, but like large organizations, they have enough sway over certain areas and that kind of thing. And you have planets and areas that are kind of like owned by different individual orgs and that kind of thing. So much so that you end up having a planet that no one can go to without somebody say so. Now imagine that planet is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
We talked about this.
I know
I want a battle royale game mode so badly, and I don't care how they put it in game. Is it like player controlled? Is it like a game mode in Star Marine? Just please CIG. I want to play that, and I wanted to follow all of the FPS mechanics that they plan on putting, like limb damage. Like in PlayerUnknown's Battleground, you get shot to almost an inch of your life, and then you take a medikit, and you're completely fine. Yeah. But in Star Citizen, what happens when somebody with a really fucking overpowered sniper rifle takes your leg off at the knee?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many ways in which they could implement this kind of thing.
I don't think you'll be able to hop ahead of the blue circle. on a
Fair
single
enough.
leg.
Fair enough. I mean, there are so many ways they could implement a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds kind of thing. I mean, like the efforts that it would take for them to make it aside, just like in terms of like having a team to make sure the rule sets and stuff. But like in terms of the scope of the game, the amount of ways they could still add it, like are kind of huge. I think, like they could make it so that it's just a game mode in and of itself, like the way PlayerUnknown made his own mods on Arma and all that kind of stuff, right? So on Arena Commander or Star Marine or Star Marine, whatever fusion that those two are going to be at some point, because there's going to be combined like game modes and stuff, aren't there anyway, right? I mean, I guess that's another question for another day. Like because Star Marine right now is on foot, but Arena Commander is in the sky, but they want to add some scenarios where you kind of use both. What would they call that? Would they call that Arena Commander, or would they call it Star Marine? Anyway.
Arena Marine. Star Commander.
Arena Marine.
Star Commander actually sounds cool.
Star Commander, you reckon? Yeah, I mean, like, it could be like an in-lore
It sounds
thing.
like a 90s video game.
Yeah. It could be an in-lore thing. It could be that, like, at some point, like, Origin kind of, like, fuse the two together to make like some kind of like a new game or something, or maybe like they release a new game and so so in the lore it's called something else and it's like higher fidelity and all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, they could do it so that it's in a game mode like that, or it could be an actual thing in the PU where people or like like criminals or whatever are actually going there and like fighting for their lives. But how would you do that?
Yeah.
Like because
how would you enact all the control that you need? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like well, first of all, yes, Aegis hoplites, you can like drop them off and stuff like that. But how do you stop people from interfering? They've already mentioned in the board gamer thing, like he mentioned that an Idris is able to like come up kissing distance to a planet and like unleash its payload. Like how do you stop somebody from interfering with your blood sport? Like maybe that's how you could do red zones.
Death satellites.
Yeah, maybe that's how you could do red zones, like just have like your Idris or like your Bengal carrier like fly to a specific spot, aim down and just start firing in that one spot, and that's your red zone.
Yeah, the iron can no the iron cannons,
Yeah.
the rail guns, all the rail guns, just point them at the surface and just go ham.
Yeah.
And make a crater.
Yeah. I mean, nothing short of a Dyson sphere is going to stop people from being able to interfere from the outside, I suppose. But
That's true, I suppose.
Well, a Dyson sphere for
although,
planets.
some sort of damping field that disables quantum drive.
But is it quantum drive that you need to worry about, or people just entering through the atmosphere?
Well, how are you going to approach the planet if you can't quantum drive to it? On thrusters for several days?
With difficulty.
with great difficulty. And if you actually put in the time to travel the days or the weeks through the no-fly zone where your quantum drive isn't going to work to reach the planet, I think you should be allowed.
But it would be awesome, and I think that it's something that would tie in really well with the whole render detector technology that they got in with like being able to broadcast battles and stuff.
Yeah, something we also were told that's just going to be like an in-game thing.
Yeah, but Board mentioned that even though it's going to be an in-game thing, the news anchors or like the mainstay ones are going to be actual CIG employed people as opposed to say like a streamer or something or INN or Spectrum.
I suppose that kind of makes sense. Like people who are like I'm talking in game now. People who you end up playing aren't the sort of people who went through school to become journalists. So those are going to be roles played out by NPCs.
Right.
Which I suppose are going to be then hijacked by CIG employees.
Right. People with
but then, you have wartime correspondents where, the small time ones where I suppose, you're not going to actually be like the main broadcaster for the biggest news network, but you should be able to have a small time stream or small-time news show with your Reliant.
It would be awesome to see what they do with it, to be honest. Will you have different channels and that kind of thing? Would you be able to tune into them? Will there be pirate radio? I mean, like, it's a really interesting thing to think about, to be honest. I mean, like,
there's so many things
that
we're just...
possibilities are endless.
The possibilities are... They're not, well, the possibilities are endless, but the stuff CIG actually plans on doing isn't, I'd say.
I know. I mean, like, it's a sandbox game, so to me, they are endless. I mean, like, Grand Theft Auto, for instance, GTA 5, you can go to your apartment, you can turn on the TV, and you can watch people play the different game modes from the comfort of your room with an overlay that looks like it's news. So,
in multiplayer, you mean?
Yeah, in multiplayer.
Yeah, because you can't do that in single player. In single player, they haven't updated the single player in years.
Well, it's done. It's done. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. But yeah, I mean, like, so if that's possible in GTA, then
yeah, it sure as hell should be possible in Star Citizen, and then you actually might end up people who are professional shoutcasters for these battles, commentators, whatnot.
So if anybody, you know, has a journalistic background or is good at writing or like whatever, I mean, I know for one are going to be watching the CIG job listings like a hawk to see if maybe they have like they'll be looking externally to hire people to do this news coverage thing, because it looks like it's gonna be fun, you know, and having fun and being paid for it is always two good things, you know. So
right, yeah, like what's it saying? Find a job that you love doing, and you'll never work a day in your life because nobody's hiring. Unfortunately, yeah. You and me both, man.
All right. So, I believe we've trailed on for quite some time now.
Yes, yes, and I do believe that I will be using that very first joke I made, the terrible joke, for the episode title.
Okay.
Trails and Tribulations.
That actually works really well because that also covers survival.
Yeah.
Works in so many levels.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't know I was that smart.
In before we trail
I'm probably not. I'm, even a blind chicken finds, like corn or whatever. Anyway, lead us out.
I signed us in. You sign us off, my friend.
I sign off. Well, very well. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on Twitch and on YouTube. My name has been Darjanator. Over there has been my good friend, Myre. This has been yet another episode of Fortnightly Frontier. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the verse.